So I just watched a video from Tabitha, and she put forth something very historically accurate and truthful. And I want to add to it, and I want to add to what she's saying, and I want to add to my video I just posted. African Americans have been the buffer between all the other immigrant groups, right? And white supremacists, open, flagrant white supremacist violence in this country. That's just been true. And I find, honestly, that a lot of the reason why this 8-1 boycott is happening, because frankly, a lot of us African immigrants and Black African immigrants and Caribbean immigrants and Afro-Latinos and stuff, we are frankly looking at gift tossing them out. This is the other side of this. And I think right now in this climate, I think African immigrants, we have to kind of step back and prove to African Americans that majority of us get it, because the temperature is really hot, honestly. Even though what I said earlier, I think we're being manipulated, we're being led around by the algorithms. I think most likely online. I think we are, and I think it's like, and I do think honestly, majority of Black people are this way. There is an issue there's an issue between African immigrants, Afro-Latinos, Caribbean immigrants, and African Americans. There's been issues. I mentioned in my last video about the algorithms that's presently stoking a lot of this online venom. What's also true, I'm going to talk about something historically that happens, it still happens. Now, it's well known that within Black communities, African American mainly communities, other immigrant groups, other non-white immigrant groups can get loans to start a business in our communities, like Middle Eastern folks, like East Asians, right? And Asians can get loans to set up businesses in all communities, while the banks are at the same time simultaneously denying African Americans, and I'm saying African Americans, denying African Americans loans to do the same kind of business in their own communities. Now, we know this. This is documented. This is fucking true. Read the book Color of Law. Read Some of Us. Read White Rage. Read all kind of books about that shit. That's just true. But here now, let me hit you to something else that's been going on. And I cannot believe I'm actually saying this, but if we want to be accurate, we want to be historically accurate, a lot of Black immigrants have been used by the white supremacy establishment as the model minorities of the Black community. Let me say it again. A lot of Black immigrants have been used as the model minorities of the Black community. So, we've seen Afro-Latinos be able to set up businesses in Black communities. We've seen African immigrants be able to set up businesses in Black communities. We've seen Caribbean immigrants be able to set up their stores, their restaurants and stuff in Black communities. They were actually able to secure funding from the banks. A lot of the time they're actually able to get slow loans, maybe not as generous loans as Asians get, but they get something. And that is deliberate. This country has had a targeted hate for African Americans especially, because they are the descendants of slaves in this country. This country has a targeted, like, hate for African Americans because they used to own them. And they've been telling black immigrants all this shit when we come here, talking about, oh, we steering from African Americans and stuff. We've been told that. That's been insinuating into us when we come here. So much so when immigrants come here, their families say, oh, steering from African Americans, they're troublemakers. That is not an accident. That is coordination. That is a coordinated attack, coordinated singling out for to keep them down of African Americans. As I said in my earlier video, right? The boycott happening 8-1, even though I think it's a bad idea, I understand where it's coming from. And I'm speaking to where it comes from right now. And I think we black immigrants have to step up in this time. We have to frankly do more, bend over backwards a little more to show African Americans who are responsible for us being here in the first place. Let me say this again. African Americans' sacrifices, bleeding, and unaliving is responsible for us being here in the first place. That's not to say we didn't lock arms with them, but African Americans were the driving force behind of it. I still think the 8-1 boycott is a bad idea, but I'm speaking to the other side of it now. I'm trying to give a holistic, a full-throated, all cards on the table discussion about the moment we find ourselves in, and the eve of another African diasporic flare-up. I'm trying to lay all the cards on the table here. I think we're still being manipulated, but at the same time, I think we have an opportunity right now as black immigrants collectively to show African Americans that we're actually fucking grateful for fucking being here. So there was this guy, I shared a video with a couple of you on here, a live stream from this guy, talking about this African immigrant. He's been here for fucking decades. I'm just using him as an example of the kind of bullshit we have to fucking stamp out. He's been here for fucking decades. Yet he's looking at African Americans, oh, why don't they start businesses? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? You know, they thought, and using all this nasty ass jargon about ghetto this and stuff. He's responding to the more caustic folks who use FBA in this exclusive way. So he's responding to that. But in a sense, he's not doing black immigrants any favors by his bullshit, because he's not acknowledging the fact that this society has been especially targeting African Americans to keep them down. This guy does not acknowledge that African Americans have built countless towns, businesses over the generations, and then the white establishment comes in and always destroys it, or in modern times sues it out of existence, or in modern times like takes it to court, starves it of resources so it eventually fails. That's what the modern day white establishment has been doing to African Americans specifically, and they've been giving like Caribbean immigrants a little bit of a reprieve, so that black immigrants feel like they're better. Their actual life here, they make them feel like they're better than African Americans. But this is by design, and I think we need to fucking cut that shit out. We really need to. So, it's a little bit of a history, a little bit of reality, all cards on the table about why this 8-1 boycott is happening.